So earlier today, I had an opportunity to catch up on the Teen Titans show on HBO Max. And this is a show that I've been watching for the last few seasons, and I thoroughly enjoy it. But I was definitely behind and needed to play catch up. But once I was caught up, I was actually inspired to go hunting in the collection to see if I could find some additional keys related to the Titans. And sure enough, I was able to find a couple. A lot of the ones that I'm going to show you have not been seen before. There's a couple that are duplicative that I found multiple copies of, so I'll show you all of those books. In addition to those, I'm also going to show you a few books that I picked up recently and a couple of books that are somewhat related to a movie that is going to be coming out that James Gunn is actually working on. If you are curious as to what it is that I've picked up and found in the collection, I want to encourage you to stay tuned for the video. And if you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, I want to encourage you to go ahead and tap that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and that way you won't miss out on any of the content that comes out from the channel. With that said, let's check out the books. So the very first couple of books that I want to show you are actually books from Boom Studio, and I picked these books up from my comic shop recently, and they just arrived at the P.O. box earlier today. The first one is cover A for Dark Blood, and I've read issue number 1 of this series. Loved it, and I am excited to see what they do with issue number 2. And you guys have heard me say this before, that sometimes the issue number 1 gets you kind of hooked, and then you have to see where the thing is going to go and if you can stay on the ride. And I am very hopeful that after I read this issue, Dark Blood is going to be one of those books that I enjoy. Shout out to my buddy 2021 New Age Investment for putting me on to Dark Blood weeks before the book was actually released. I definitely appreciate that. This next one is, again, another Dark Blood book, but this is the cover C, kind of like the black and white look of this one, so I went ahead and snagged that. So if you guys have read this, let me know what you think down in the comment section. If you thought it was a good read, if you're hopeful for the future, let me know your thoughts. This next one is, I actually bought 2 copies of this, and I read this story and I enjoyed it. I've enjoyed the series all along. I don't have many copies of books from this series, but I have been reading it and I do enjoy it. For some reason, I just never pick it up, and I'm kind of regretting that now, to be honest with you. But I read this story and I had to get a copy of it. This is Something is Killing the Children, issue number 16. And I specifically went with the cover B. I thought that this was a very striking cover, so I went ahead and snagged this one. This is the origin story of Erica Slaughter. And Erica is the character that is front and center mostly in Something is Killing the Children, and this is her origin story, and I thought it was a really well done origin story, to be honest with you. And we also get a first look at her mentor as well. So ended up picking up 2 copies of this really awesome cover. This is cover B for Something is Killing the Children. If you haven't read it, treat yourself because it is really good. It really is. So these next couple of books are the books that were inspired by me watching the Teen Titans on HBO Max. And I went digging back through some bins that I've gone through before. Maybe I did not go through them as carefully as I could have because I found some stuff that I did not see before. This first book is, I do believe, from volume 1 of Teen Titans. This one specifically is from 1976. This is Teen Titans issue number 44. And this is when Maul, I think it's Maul, Duncan actually becomes the Guardian. He has a little photo down here. We have some Dr. Light action going on right there. So definitely a cool book. I don't think that there's anything crazy with this one in terms of value, but it was a book that I found in the collection, and I think it was a really, really cool book. Really nice copy. There is some rust on the staple, but par for the course with some of those other older books. Speaking of Dr. Light, here is the new Teen Titans issue number 3. Dr. Light is back. At least that's what it says right there. This is the first appearance of the Fearsome Five. It is also the origin of Raven and also Starfire, and just saw some Starfire action earlier today. So really cool book here. I've actually shown this book before. I've actually just found this copy, but I want to say maybe 2 other copies that were found previously that have been shown in videos. So this one is a little bit of a duplicate, but that to me now is a first issue of that one. Here is issue number 6 right here, and I think that one is also the first mention of Trigon. I want to say issue number 3. I think that's the case, because this is the first appearance of Trigon the Terrible. This is New Teen Titans issue number 6 right there. Really cool cover, black cover. And as I look down the spine through the plastic, I am not seeing a whole lot of spine ticks, which is really, really nice. That is really nice. Cool book. I have not read either one of those, so I may end up cracking those open and checking them out. And while we're on this whole roll of Teen Titans, we're going to keep it going. Assault on Titan's Tower. This is issue number 7 right here. And this one actually contains the origin of Cyborg. And it's some more Dr. Light action right here on the cover. We have Cyborg over here on the right-hand side and the other characters in the background. So, cool book. Next up, 2 copies. 2 copies of this one. This is New Teen Titans issue number 10. And this is the 3rd appearance of Deathstroke and also the origin of Beast Boy Retold. Found 2 copies of that. One was already bagged and boarded. One was not, so I had to go ahead and take care of that. Next up, we have, I think, a couple of more. Yeah, they're all the same. Another Teen Titans book. This is a more modern version. I can't remember what volume this is. Somebody out there probably knows a lot better than I. But this is issue number 8 right there. This is where Rose Wilson has a cameo as Ravager. She actually makes an appearance here, and we actually have 3 copies of that were found today. I want to say I have more copies of this in the collection that I already pulled out in another bin, but we found 3 copies of this one again today. So the last couple of books here are all James Gunn related books, and there's a little bit of hope that maybe this Peacemaker show that James Gunn is doing is going to be successful, and if successful, he may actually, James Gunn that is, come back and do an additional series or a season of the show. He's basically said if they ask him to come back, he will come back, so fingers crossed. And I will tell you, I enjoyed the Peacemaker John Cena and Suicide Squad. I enjoyed his banter. I enjoyed his temperament, his personality. I thoroughly enjoyed his character, and I'm glad that they did not kill him in Suicide Squad, but kept him in reserve for this show. And fingers crossed that this show is going to be good, because if it's good, then maybe we'll get to see some of these characters that I'm about to show you right now. This one is one that I pulled because I just thought that it was a cool cover. This is issue number 23 of Vigilante, and there is a character in here by the name of Lieutenant Harry Stein. I do believe that that's his name. He actually goes on later to join Checkmate, but I thought that this was a pretty cool cover right there. But this right here is the real reason why I pulled these books, because this one is issue number 36, the first appearance of Vigilante and also Peacemaker. And again, my hope is that if Peacemaker is successful, we could get some additional characters. And there is a rumor that we might actually see Vigilante in the Peacemaker movie. I'm not sure if that's going to happen or not, but every time I find one of these copies in the collection, I make sure that I pull it out, and I found a couple of them already. So again, this is issue number 36, kind of a cool blue cover there with a little bit of some yellow. Definitely a cool cover. He needs to wear some body armor because he is taking some shots right there. So yeah, cool book. And then the very last one is a little bit of a somber book here. This is the very last issue of Vigilante. issue number 50, and it is also where Vigilante actually dies. He actually commits suicide, and I've not read this book, but that's what I actually read in Key Collector app, so shout out to Key Collector for keeping me in the know. But when you look at the cover, it kind of makes sense now, given what I just told you a few seconds ago. But it is a very striking cover right here, where he is looking at himself, and what he sees is his character of the Vigilante and not necessarily his actual reflection. So I thought that this was a really interesting cover, and I wanted to pull it out and share it. So there you have it. Those are essentially the books that were found earlier today and or that were purchased and showed up at the P.O. Box. I want to thank you guys for taking the time to watch this video. If you enjoyed it, if you enjoyed this video, I want to encourage you to go ahead and leave a comment behind so we can mix it up in the comment section. And also give the video a thumbs up, because it is good for the algorithm. It actually helps more people to be able to see the video when you watch a larger percentage of the video and give it a thumbs up. It goes a long way to helping YouTube to see and recognize that this is a video that people are enjoying. So if I can ask you to do that, it would be appreciated. And if you haven't yet subscribed to the channel for some reason or another, I want to officially invite you to go ahead and tap that button, turn on notifications, and that way you can get all of the content that I release from the channel every single week. If you need to reach out to me, feel free to do so on Instagram at Regie Collects. Take care.